Good morning. Happy middle of the week. I love that George Benson breezing. That sounded good. Now that's how you wake up in the morning. That's the music you need. It's just the right no singing. I don't listen, I don't got nothing against singing. I sing all the time. But just to hear George Benson play breezing, it's just the right vibe. Happy Wednesday, good people in the Elm. So I see we got some NYPD Blue shooting in New Haven this week. My friend Sherry caught pictures of Dijon Hunson and coming out of one of the brownstones, cameras on the whole thing. So New Haven Independent, Jabez didn't get them pictures. He got some pictures, but he ain't get Dijon Hunson. Ah, listen. Uh, where's the Monarch? Where was that? Is that the one over there on Derby? West River. Okay. Monarch Cleaners, Monarch Laundry. Wow. New housing. It's gonna be low income housing or affordable housing. I'll read the article later. Anyway, so New Haven is getting a little New York Hollywood vibe going on. All right. All right. All right. All right. Oh, extra, extra official 2024 election results. I'll skip it. We have 63% turnout. Is that Connecticut? I'm drinking some more tea this morning. My goal is to drink tea or coffee every day. Now, if I wasn't so lazy, and I am lazy, I would grind my coffee beans, which I think I probably will try to do today, this afternoon. I feel like I have the time to do it. Um, all is well. All is well. Let's see what else is going on. I still have not turned my television off to the news. I don't, someone who was a news junkie, I don't miss it. At some point, I will return to it, I imagine, but I'm not right now. And I have a good friend. Yes, I'm coming. Um, I have a good friend who I served on a board with, and and she asked the question why so many black men voted for Donald Trump. And and uh and I asked her, well, why so many white women? I was being salty because I don't want white women asking me a damn thing about this. I don't want them, whatever questions that they have for us, go ask your people. Don't ask us a damn thing. 80% of black men voted for her. There's nobody higher than that than black women. So go ask white women why they voted the way they voted. Go ask Latinos why they voted the way they voted. And I like her. She's a white woman, and she's a friend, and and there's some white women who I'm not gonna ever talk to again, but she's not one of those. So when she asked the question, I know it's in earnest. Like, I know she's not being an asshole. She is genuinely asking for understanding. And I think the understanding, and the thing about that kind of understanding is rooted in white supremacy. Because it's easier to say, well, why didn't all black people vote for Vice President Harris? You know, and rather than asking, why didn't all people vote for Kamala Harris? So, I just told her patriarchy and white supremacy are a marriage made in hell. That you do not have to be white to do the work of white supremacy. You don't have to be white. Black people are capable of carrying out white supremacy just like white people. It's ingrained. It's instilled. It's a system we've been brought up through. You know, Audre Lorde said it best. The master's house will not be destroyed by the master's tools. And she wasn't talking about. I mean, she was talking about politics in regards to uh, 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 matters of homosexuality and how this country deals with that or not deals with that. And this was a long time ago when she talked about this, but that particular quote resonates across so many intersections that it stays with me, and it is one of the reasons why it drives me to want to go to law school, because I do believe that it has to be the master's tools that dismantles the master's house. Uh, but anyway, so that was on my mind this morning. I'll have a larger conversation another time about it, I guess. I might bring some people on to talk about it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna require some more conversation. Yes, indeed. And people are having those conversations. I think what I'm saying is I'm not having them damn conversations. Not now. I'm too wounded by it. And you know, I'm too wounded by it. And I own that. I own my woundedness. And I'm not defending it or anything. I just don't have to speak. I'm not. So I tell you what I do feel, that we are alone. And that's it. That we are alone. And we already knew this, but more so. We are very much alone. No one has our back. Nobody has our back. No one has our back. Now, listen, I got pockets of white women friends who are badass, who I would put up against some black folks who I can't even mess with, right? So that's how badass these women are. But that's not an army. That's just a handful of righteous women who stand on the right side of things. You know, that's just a small few. Uh, a small few. So, you know, anyway, anyway, I'll let it go. I'm not let it go. I'll put it down. Put it down. I'll put it down. If you have nothing to do today or tonight, I invite you to catch um, the Yale Big Band tonight. If you have nothing to do, it's free, and it's at uh let me give you the schedule for the Yale ensembles, because it's the Yale Jazz Ensemble Big Band kicks off tonight. And let's see. It's the Yale Jazz Ensemble's Big Band opener, and it's music by the tenor sax masters. Did I tell y'all welcome to LoveBabz, LoveTalk? I did that already, right? Wayne Escoffery, the music director, season opener featuring music by John Coltrane and NEA jazz masters Sonny Rollins, Joe Henderson, Frank Foster, and George Coleman. Coltrane's revolutionary hard bop and modal jazz work includes Giant Steps and my personal favorite, A Love Supreme. Rollins recorded over 60 albums and composed standards like Oleo and Doxy. Henderson recorded with Blue Note, Milestone, and Verb, and is best known for Page One, featuring Blue Bossa, and his own composition, Recorda Me. Foster led, arranged, and composed for the Loud Minority Big Band and the Count Basie Orchestra. Coleman's work spans blues to post-bop. He continues to perform today. So it's at Sprague Memorial Hall, Morse Recital Hall, 470 College Street. So if you have time tonight, 7:30 at uh, Sprague Memorial Hall. So just get there. It's free, 7:30. You'll be out by 9. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. So, but if you've not seen them play, heard them swing, that music in there is so rich, so big, so incredibly good. You really, you really want to hear them. And I've gone several times because I truly enjoy the music so much. So if you got time, you know, so uh, then check it out. So and you can just go to the Yale big bands or whatever if you feel like you need to like look it up for yourself. So just FYI, the admission is free, open to all, general public. So just go check it out. So I'm coming and I'm delighted to come. That's my plan, unless my plans change, but I don't think so. I'm going to the gym at 12. I go to the gym every day. I'm losing weight. It's nice to see. It's coming off. Slow. It's a slow come off, which is fine. I lost 10 pounds since in a month, which is nice. That's what you want to do. I'm in no rush. Where am I going? I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush. So, um, so yeah, I'm somebody I told you a good friend of mine sent me Black Literacies. I have this book somewhere and I think I gave it away and then I bought it again, but now I have another copy. Um, and it's I find this to be such a balm in these crazy times, and it's just gonna, we need the things that hold us. We need the things that hold us. This is one of the things. Harry, did you get my text? I need a new ring light. This beautiful light that you see me in now is daylight. Makes this melanin pop. I look like a penny. Oh, ah. I feel like a penny. I look brown with this blonde hair. I feel it. So anyway, so if you've not picked up this book, Black Liturgies, it's a wonderful it's a wonderful book to pick up for resistance and contemplation and discernment. And then my rest deck. This is another gem. Now, if y'all think about Christmas presents for folks, and not necessarily for your Black friends, for anybody who needs to reclaim their right to rest. 50 practical guides, 50 practices to resist grind culture. I know young people don't get it. They're like, look at us like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm on my grind. No. Well, I just pick a random card. Whew. I am asking for divine grace and rest to cover me. I will anoint myself with rest. And rest for Black women is a very challenging thing. It's a very, very challenging thing because it is ingrained in us to just keep doing and doing and doing until exhaustion. And that comes out of, being in enslavement times when you worked, you got in the fields before sun up and you left the fields after the sun went down. And you was pushed as hard as you could to get the work done, you know. And so here we are in 2024 having these conversations. And on the back of the card, it gives you some instructions. Sit, stand, or lie down in your comfortable position. Place your hands over your heart and breathe slowly. In a culture focused on hyperprotectivity, it can feel uncomfortable to be still and do nothing. Just let letting silence wash over you. Cultivate a space for silence right now. It can be a few seconds, it can be a minute, a lifetime. Trust your body. With your hands over your heart, repeat, grind culture cannot have me. I will resist. I will rest. Keep slowly repeating this to yourself. Each slow down each word until it covers you. This is rest. This is rest. And we gotta rest, you know. And we don't do enough. We don't do enough of rest. We don't. We grind and grind and grind, running people here and there, kids here and there, hither and yon, pillar to post, till we are exhausted. And then what ails us kills us. Do you know what I mean? What ails us kills us. Heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, aneurysms, all the things that we are attaching to ourselves prematurely. That's why I sit on the damn porch and just slow down and watch the world go by on Ivy Street. That's a practice. That is a real practice. And we've got to I'm trying to make my care my ministry because I'm 61. I want to see 91, but with all my faculties, without benefit of a wheelchair or a walker or a cane. Although I do have a pretty snazzy cane, I must say. But I'm just trying to be here and be present. That's really what it is. You know, that's really what it is. So I'm just, listen, this is the only life we get, my people. This is not a dress rehearsal for you know, you know, uh or something else. I know we like to think it is, but it ain't. And in the last week or so, I've lost two people who I know and thought I'd see again. And I always talk about my own mortality. I always think about, when my number is up. And when I start thinking about my mortality, I start thinking about all the things that I have not got to do, that I haven't gotten done. And I don't know if that should conjure that up. I've done a lot. I've done a lot. That is not lost on me. All the cool stuff that I've been in the White House. I've been in Paris. I've been places and spaces with people and things and opportunities that is mind blowing. But when I think about my mortality, I immediately think about, ooh, what have I not done? What do I want to do? You know, what haven't I not got to do? And I'm at the point now, I just think of the most loftiest, biggest dreams that I have, and I just chase them. There's no more putting that off. I'm just telling y'all. And I've been, this has been gala season. I've been particularly listening to the conversations that people are having. And people are having very low vibration conversations, which are fine in some spaces. But I'm really about wanting to have bigger thinking conversations, bigger problem solving conversations. And I know that is you have to expand your mind to a place of being ready to have expansive conversations that suspend time and place and all the isms. You have to suspend all of those things to get to a higher thinking. I'm convinced. I remember I remember one time I read a book. I can't remember what this book was, but it was so expansive to my mind, it freaked me out because I couldn't believe that my mind could open up that big. And I still to this day remember that feeling of having my mind opened up so wide and looking at thinking about big things. And then it closed just like that. Like it just closed. And I can't remember what the book was or what opened the gate. But I know that I want to open the gate again. And for some people, they're not even going to understand or follow along with this. But there are some people out there who know exactly what I'm talking about. That there is this metaphysical plane that you get on when you start thinking about the universe, the world, how to solve problems, how we see each other, how we are with each other, and the conversations that need to happen to move us forward. And I'm telling you, when I sit in spaces and I hear these low vibration conversations, vibration conversations mean to me these very mundane, small, petty kinds of conversation about things that are very small on the reality of things. They don't solve anything. It's just noise. Noise. And as much as I love small talk, and I do love small talk because I feel like small talk is the one of the ways in which you can get to bigger talk. Because small talk is building comfort with people. And you'll know immediately if you can have bigger conversations with people, by virtue of the small talk that they have, you know. And I've learned that when I want to have larger conversations with people, whether it's politics or science or people get nervous and they don't know how to have the bigger conversations. And people will often find themselves trying to switch conversations when I'm having a conversation with people about bigger things. I've seen people do this. I've seen people try to sort of divert the conversation or try to make it seem like this is not the time or the place to have bigger conversations. But I think over a cocktail anywhere is a time and a place for any conversation if people are willing and open to have it. It's not a shout. I'm not having a shouting match. I'm having a real conversation about things that sort of matter and of importance. What have you read lately on this particular subject? What do you know about X, Y, and Z? What has your experience been? I noticed that, women do this crazy thing when they are trying to be attractive to men, that they dumb themselves down in the presence of men or men that they like so that they don't come across as aggressive or smart or any of that stuff. I hate women like that. I really do. I hate women like that because I feel like I, I don't. I show up as my authentic self. I don't. If your views are crazy, I'm just gonna say I don't agree with your views. I'm not gonna go along with that. I'm not gonna shrug that off because I want you to like me. Get the hell out of here. I don't want anybody to like me. If truth be told. Because if your liking me is predicated on me being stupid, then I'm just not going to be for you. I hate that more than anything. I've lost some good girlfriends over men. Not men that I wanted, men that they wanted. And they would just, I would just stand there and I'd be looking at them like, what the hell is wrong with you? And all their behavior. Just, I remember I had a girlfriend, she was in the middle of a divorce from a prominent man in this town. And she was just, and she met some cat who, on a scale of things, was a waste of her time. But maybe they're still together. I have no idea. We stopped being friends because she just was stupid and she was brilliant. And I was just like, I cannot be a part of this foolishness. And every time she talked about him, and I remember I had a conversation with him. We were at the same, we had taken our cars to the same garage and he was there. And I pulled in and they took my car and he had his car up. And so I know him. So we were having a conversation and he starts in on this. This is why I can't get married. He's telling me this because he knows she is my good friend at the time. She was a very good friend. And he starts telling me this stuff and I'm listening to him because I listen very well to people. I listen to what people say and I listen to what people don't say. And so he was going in about he can't ever marry and my dad, I'm trying to get my life together. Now at this point, I must be already, I'm not quite 50. I don't think I'm 50 yet. I think I'm like 47, 48. Because we're both getting divorced. So I wasn't 50 yet. And he goes in telling me this whole cockamamie rationale for why he doesn't want to get married. And I think what he wanted me to do, I know what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to run back to tell her, girl, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't this and that and the other thing. And I wouldn't do it. I didn't do it. Whatever he told me, I held it. I sat on it. I was like, I'm not doing your dirty work for you, brother. You want to marry that chick? You don't want to marry that woman? That's on you to tell her. I'm not the deliverer of that information. I sat on it, and he was waiting for me to tell her. Waiting. So when I was at the house for dinner, because we used to bring our kids together for dinner a couple of nights a week, he'd come by too. And he just thought I was going to tell her that I told her, and I didn't tell her anything. And he was just like annoyed with me. And then he mounted this campaign against me. Babz is not a good friend, blah, blah, blah. And she couldn't understand why. Because, he adored me at first. But when I wouldn't do his dirty work, then I became a problem. And I just was like, I watched this whole thing. I watched it. I didn't stop it. I didn't try to tell her. I took her to dinner one time and I said, listen, I had a conversation with her about this relationship. I said, listen, you seem to be throwing yourself into this thing you need to give yourself some. I just real talk people. I don't got no reason to sugarcoat a damn thing. So I just real talked her. She got up and stormed out because she thought I was just being, and that was the end of our friendship right then and there because she could not hear me. She just thought I was hating. I didn't say too much about him. I was talking about her behavior. I was like, girl, what are you trying to do? Well, I said, well, you want to get married. He doesn't want to get married. Oh, then she goes at me with this. I'm rethinking that too. That sounds like marriage is a construct rooted in whiteness and colonialism. I was like, girl, I said, who told you that? I said, did he convince you of that? Now, mind you, here's the backstory. This brother was in a 18-year relationship with another woman he had 3 kids with. Never married this woman. Wouldn't marry her. 18, almost 20-year relationship. Living with them, or kind of living with them, or in and out. But the other woman, decided, if I'm ever going to get married, I have to get out of this relationship. And sure enough, she got out of the relationship within 2 years. She married a man and is happy as all get out. And it was like she stepped out of a storm. She was like, I cannot believe I wasted 20 years, gave this man these many kids, and he would not marry me. So when I heard this story, and I said to my girl, I didn't say to my girlfriend that I knew the story because she didn't know I knew the story. So till she finally told me the story. And I said, well, how does that make you feel that he is a serial monogamist like this? Like he has no intentions of marrying anyone. And that's when she said, well, I have to rethink what marriage is and what commitment is. I was like, all right. I said, well, why do you have to reconsider? Why can't he reconsider? Why is it on you to reconsider marriage when you are the one that wants to get married? Why can't he reconsider marriage and propose to get married? What's the problem? What is the fear? And at this point we're all in our late 40s, so it's not, and he's older. So it's not like, you know, he's 20. So I've watched people. So at this point in my life, I'm only having real conversations with people. And they can start out with small talk. Seriously. I know people who are like, I don't like small talk. What do you mean you don't like small talk? Small talk is the gateway to bigger talk. Small talk is where you set the comfort level. Small talk is where you get a sense of how big of a conversation you can have with people based on their intellect, based on their ability to speak, based on what they know and where they've been and what they read. If you stay in the small talk world, then you never progress to the big talk world. Then you already got your answer about how this is going to go. You know, I don't show up differently. I don't show up differently. I don't show up thinking I have to be pleasing or nice or kind. I'm already those things. So I don't have to amp them up. I don't have to amp up being nicer or smile bigger or, talk. And I've seen women be such fools over men. Fools. And I know what that looks like is God knows I've been the biggest fool over men that could ever be a fool over a man. And I just come to this place in my life. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't care. I choose me. That's it. I just don't I don't like the foolishness. It's not charming to me. It's not cute. It's tiresome and it's fake and it's so I don't want to be a fool like that. Now, I like being a fool in love, meaning if it's reciprocated and it's a mutual, then I'm happy. But I'm already happy. I show up happy. I'm not unhappy. So I'm not desperate. I'm not out there. And I find myself looking at men. I'm like, oh, he looks attractive. I wonder. So I do wonder about men, but not to the point where I'm a do something. You know, I was like, I don't. I get men talking to me all the time. And I just like, and I can just tell by the nature of the conversation how all of this is going to go. And I don't say that because I shut the door before I even open it. No, I open the door wide. I don't have no reason to like trickle in light. I open it, I throw the door open wide. Now, if they could walk through and not be blinded by the brightness of my light, fine. But if they cannot, go choose door number two. Don't come over to door number one. Choose door number two, number 8, number 20, whatever. Because I just don't. I want to have rich and engaging conversation. I want to have rich and engaging friendships, and I want to always um, be thoughtful and kind and generous in how I spend my time with people. That's it. So that's where I'm at, you know. So I know it's a lot. And I'm not, and you know, the other part of that part of the other part of this is I'm not lonely. Like I don't even, on any given night, I could show up somewhere and know 12 people, people who I know, people who I can sit and engage. If I want to talk music, I know where to go to talk with people about music. You know, if I want to talk about books, I know where to go to talk about books. I have friends who are avid readers, and they've been avid readers for all their damn lives. So I can go to their house, sit, read. I can go to Ife's house right now and pull a book, and we could talk hours about this damn book. Same with Markeisha. Same with Sarah. Same with Lauren. Same with all friend people that I know. I can sit on the porch and pull the book and talk with people. That brings me so much joy. I could talk with Michelle Turner all day about all kinds of music because we have the same musical taste, you know. Or I could talk to Paul Hudson Bryant if I want to be technical, or Brian Slatery if I want to talk about all kinds of other music, the roots of music, you know. Or I could talk to Mr. Hameen about what the culture was like back in the day of music, you know. Or I mean I could go and be with people. I could if I want to talk about law and rules and all of that, I could call Professor Foreman. I could text him and say, this is what's on my mind. Now I have a new friend, Jameson Davis, who is a visionary, smart. I could text him and talk about whatever. Tabitha, who runs Connecticut for Dreamers. I could call her to talk about immigration stuff if I'm so inclined. And what do they need? How do we help? You know, I could do that for days. That's what I mean. I want to have these big vibrational conversations. I don't want to be stuck in these petty, mundane conversations of things. And it does not take away the fact that you have those small conversations to create trust so that you can have the bigger conversations. But you also have to recognize that there are some people who will never get out of those initial small conversations because then they don't have it in them to go beyond, to open up to bigger conversations. They just don't. It's not a habit. You know, it's not a habit. And we as folks, as humans and people who want to be in love, we have got to get in the habit of having these bigger conversations about how we are doing and what we think about and what we imagine. We have got to get in the habit of having those conversations. We have got to. And we have got to put down the pettiness of staying in small boxes. That's what I'm saying. You know, don't get me wrong. I love small talk. I love it. You know, because that allows you to set the tone for safety and set the tone for trust. That's how you start there. This is how I see small talk. You know, because you cannot run in and just have a big conversation with people. You've got to start talking about small things, you know, and find some commonality in the small things. And then you have these big ass conversations. And it doesn't have to take hours to do it. I'm pretty skilled at it now. I can start small conversations, 15, 20 minutes, and then move right into a big ass conversation about, you know, what are you dreaming about? What are you aspiring to do? You know, that is my gift. I own that. I own it. I've always been inquisitive, and I've always been able to see things and hear things that other people can't see and hear. You know, I know when people are being manipulative. I could hear it off the rip. I heard somebody being manipulative just the other day. And I don't think it wasn't rooted in meanness. I don't say that to say it's rooted in meanness. I say it to say that people understand the power of conversation and direction, how to direct language to get people to do what they want them to do. That's a real skill. I'm just saying. So uh, I wish I was better at it when I was parenting. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. That's where we are. So yeah. So don't dissuade small talk. And ladies, women, sisters, men too. You don't have to impress people. Show up as you are. If they dig you, they dig you. They're not gonna like you more or less because you show up your authentic self. Be your authentic self. You know. I cringe every time I'm with people who just I see them out there bang and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, oh well, they're just trying to be attractive to somebody. And I think that's a natural no, it's not natural. We've been conditioned to behave, particularly women, to behave a certain way to seem attractive. And I'm not saying be an asshole, like don't speak to people and be all rough and gruff. I actually like being in my feminine self. I like being soft. I like being soft. You can be soft and authentic. You don't have to be hard to be authentic. That's not true. I mean, there are moments when you have to be hard. You have to come down like a hammer. But there's times when you can spend more time being soft. And people think when you're soft, you're letting your guard down. But I live in the space of vulnerability. It is my superpower. I don't have any I don't try to lock away my feelings or my heart. That's not what I do. I'm not doing that. That takes too much effort, energy, and time. I like being wide open. I do. And I think a lot of people don't understand the wide openness part because they think that somehow or other, and this is how you know you with somebody who's low vibration. Because when you're wide open, they feel nervous about it, and so therefore they feel like they have to back up or shut it down or not reciprocate. And that's not on you to figure out. You stay in your authentic self. I stay in my authentic self. And I know people are like, boy, Babz, that's got to be hard because you can get done wrong. I was like, if somebody's gonna do you wrong, they're gonna do you wrong no matter how you show up. You can't make people do right by you if they don't have do right by you already in their spirit, you know. And if your softness and vulnerability makes them nervous to the point where they want to destroy you or shut you down, then that's got to be an indication that that is not a good use of your time with that person. But if you can find somebody who appreciates the openness and the vulnerability and is not afraid of that, who can stand in that and be like, I like this light and it's warm and I love it. And whenever it gets too bright, if I think it feels like it's getting too bright, I'll just put on my sunglasses, but I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to be in it. Then you might have somebody you could work with. That's the thing, you know. That's where I'm at. I'm not looking for true love. I am true love. There's no looking for it. I am it. The Course in Miracles says your job is not, I'm paraphrasing, your job is not to seek for love, it's to remove all the barriers to love. When you start meditating on that, when you think about that, you're like, whoa. Then you have to ask yourself, what are the barriers? What am I putting in the way of me getting the kind of love that I dream about? That's the thing. People dream about all this good love, but they're not willing to sort of walk through the wilderness and clear a path for it. You know, the knight in shining armor on the steed can't find you in the woods if You done built a fort of trees around yourself. You have to have a clear path too, if that's your desire. So I just so so this is all that I'm saying is you have to be in a vulnerable space to have real conversation. You have to be in a vulnerable space to have small conversation and low vibration conversations, you know. And you have to build the muscle of that so that you can have these bigger, open, wide conversations that dream beyond dreams, you know. I like to listen to people think about what they want to do and where they want to go. I love listening to people talk about the biggest dream. I never shut that down. Even if it sounds ridiculous to me, it doesn't matter if it sounds ridiculous to me. To some people, going to law school at 60 is ridiculous. Why would I do that? Well, why wouldn't you do it? you know, uh, uh, why wouldn't you do it? So why wouldn't you do it? I mean, there's a lot of things that I have no interest in doing. A lot of things that I have no interest in doing. One, maybe because I've already done them, uh, or two, that's just not where I believe my strengths are. And that doesn't mean I'm just being shut off from things. There's just some things I'm just not gonna do. I'm not gonna be a coal miner. I have no interest in being a coal miner. So I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be a deep sea fisherman. I have no interest in that. One, because I don't like the deep sea like that. So I'm not going to be that. Do you know what I mean? Like there's just some things I know without question I'm not going to be or do. It's all right. Everything ain't for everybody, you know. The dreams and the goals I have now, I'm so excited by and delighted by, you know. Very exciting and very delighted by. And there's some barriers, you know, to them, around them. And that's my work to do now is to remove the barriers to get the things that are holding my attention and fascination at the moment, you know. Um, and listen, I when I talk about I am love, I am my own true love. That does not mean that I am against being in communion with someone. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm showing up as my authentic self. I'm not going to be more attractive or less attractive based on what the hell they say to me and their gaze. I'm not here for anybody's gaze. I don't care about anybody's gaze. But if you are the kind of man that understands this level of conversation, this level of vulnerability, this level of authenticity, you might have a shot. You might have a shot. Listen, I'm not coaching you. Take your shot, man. That's it. Take your shot. And then that's it. There's nothing else. I don't have a label for it. I don't have any advice for you except be your own authentic self. You know, I always say be kind and generous of spirit. You know, be kind and generous of spirit. I don't like brooding. I don't like pouting. I don't like any of that. I don't like secrets. And we all have secrets, but I don't like deliberate, you know, holding back information because you don't want me to make a choice that's in my best interest. I don't need that kind of foolishness neither. So, And when I come back, let's talk about date. Because you know what? I need to have somebody come on and talk about dating. Because there seems to be this misnomer about dating. When you are dating someone and you have not decided to be mutually exclusive, that means they could date whoever, you could date whoever, until you all decide we're going to date each other exclusively. But until you say that, I don't know why these women are getting mad when he's like dating other people. That's what dating is. Dating. Trying on, checking out, seeing. You don't meet somebody and be like, "Oh, I'm yours." No, unless that's what you decide. You make the decision. You have a conversation. You talk about it. You weigh the options. You say, "Hey, this is what I want to do. Let's do this. I like you enough where I will shut down everything else I got going on just to be committed to you and you alone." But if you just go on an assumption, and people go on assumption all the time without having these real conversations because they don't want to rock the boat or they don't want to incite fear in somebody. So they just go along in these, I don't know, what do they call situationships? So I'm going to take a break, but I'll be back. What we got, Harry? We got Christmas music yet? Candles burning low. That doesn't sound like Christmas music, is it?
Another day is gone.
Jackson.
I'm still all alone.
Harry, I see what you're doing. I see you.
You're